Hey, what's up, gang? Welcome to the RTI cartoon drawing session number 4. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a theme that I chose because no one's really contacting me to let me know what they want to draw, so I'm just going to make something up. Today's theme is going to be cats, right? So famous cats, and we are going to start off with easy, work our way up to medium, and then go doing hard one. So I'll have a timestamps here on top of the screen so that you guys can see if you want to do the hard, medium, or easy cartoon cats. And yeah, let's get started. So I'll say pause after each step in case you need to pause it for me to slow down, okay? That's when I'll take my small moments, maybe a 3-second pause, and then I'll continue on to the next step. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so we're going to need our drawing tablet, pencil, and an eraser. Alright, so our first cartoon or famous cartoon cat is going to start off with... What shape are we going to start with? Let's start with an oval. Easy enough. And our oval is going to go horizontal, and it's going to go right in the middle of our paper. Nice big oval. And I'm just sketching out a shape that I'm happy with, and once I get it, I pause. Right, moving on to the next step. Right below the oval that I just drew, I'm going to put a small semicircle. Pause. Alright, so below that, I'm going to go out a little from my semicircle, and I'm going to make another semicircle. Coming down, more of a semi-oval. Yeah, let's do a semi-oval. I'll call it that. I gotta elongate this for the legs, that's why. Would have been okay if legs were shorter, but that ain't gonna work. So we'll make a semi-oval. And you can see my semicircle here, my semi-oval there. And I'm gonna go ahead and erase this line that's going through the first oval we did, because we don't need that there. It was just to show you guys what shape I was looking at to accomplish this this figure. Alright, now we're going to put a couple of rounded rectangles on the bottom of our semi-oval. So sticking out from the bottom here, we're going to put a rounded rectangle going halfway through the shape. We're going to draw another rounded rectangle going halfway through the shape again. And these are the characters' legs, stomach, neck, and head. The arms are going to be a little interesting, so if you guys want to pause it here, we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, for the arms, we're going to have a rectangle sticking out from the face and connecting itself to the semi-oval body. That's one arm. You pause it. Okay, and on the left arm, it's going to be a triangle sticking out of the face and spreading out from the face, spreading out and cutting across. That's the other arm. Pause. Okay, so now we're going to come back to the first arm, and we're going to finish it by putting the hand. And the hand is going to be a semi-oval. And then right above the semi-oval, starting from where the sleeve is, see the semi-oval and get the sleeve here with this line, we're going to put a semicircle on the very top. Just like that. And using our eraser, we're going to erase everything that's inside that semicircle, and that's disconnecting our semicircle from our semi-oval. So now it's one piece. And that's sticking out here. Right? And then we're going to come to the hand on this side, and that one's just going to be a semicircle. And then that's it for that hand. And that semicircle is going to go from the outside of the arm to the inside of the arm, or right near the body. Okay? Alright, the next step is we are going to put a circle on the upper right hand side of our first oval. Nice big circle. And sticking off the two circles, we're going to have two semicircles on each side, one on each side. And these semicircles are going to be going at an angle, going towards the upper left side of our paper. Okay, so you can pause it, catch up to that. Okay, so the next step after you get to this point is around these two small semicircles, we are going to put rounded Dorito chips shapes, so triangular shapes, going into the circle, one on each side. Okay, and then you're going to take your eraser, erase the head that's going through the triangular shape on both sides. Just like that. Okay, so now we have a bow up on the top right hand side of the head. Alright, now we need eyeballs and a nose. So the eyeballs, well, you know, we'll do the nose first because that's easier. So if you need to pause it now to finish up the bow, you can. But we're going to move on to the nose right now. So the nose is just going to be a small circle in the center of the face. But it's not going to be in the center vertically. You're going to bring it down slightly. So this will be the center vertically. We're actually doing the center, the center horizontally. This is the center horizontally. This is the center vertically. So it's going to be centered vertically, but it's going to be lower than the horizontal center. So it's going to come down slightly. Excuse me, apologize for that. Alright, so that's the nose. Go ahead and pause it if you need to. Moving on to the eyes. The eyes are going to be the same kind of shape as this, only they are going to be standing up, one on each side, and it's going to be colored in. Okay, so there's the eyes. Now it looks like a little snow person. But remember, this is our theme today is cats, so there's some important information we need to add. First of all, we need to add some whiskers. So if you're done with those couple of steps, the eyes and the nose, we can move on. So the whiskers, there's 3 on each side, and the top whisker is kind of slightly over the eyes. So the first whisker is going to stick out of the face, and it's going to be slightly above the eyes. And then the second whisker is right below the eyes. And the last whisker is close to the arms. Just like that. Okay, pause. And finally, we're going to finish up the ears, and the ears are a couple of rounded Dorito chips or triangles. One comes out of the bow. The very center of the bow, you're going to put this rounded triangle sticking out, and the other one is going to be sticking off the other side of the head. Okay, we take our eraser, erase the line that's separating the triangle from the head. And there we have our finished picture. Now I've heard that this character technically is not a cat, it's a little girl dressed up as a cat, but I don't care, it looks cat-like. So this is Hello Kitty, if you didn't know that already. Alright, moving on to our medium picture, and remember our theme is cats, so don't get upset with me if you didn't send anything into my email saying what you want to do. It's not my fault, okay? So next time, send something to my email and let me know what you want to do. It's inside the description of this video. You can check it out. And email me an idea so that next week when we do this, you guys can get your idea published. Alright, so this one we are going to start with an oval in the very center of our paper. This one's going to be not as big as the head of our Hello Kitty. This is going to be smaller. Yeah? So if you look at my paper, I have quite a bit of space on the top and the bottom. Alright, so below the oval is going to be the legs, above the oval is going to be the head. Okay, moving on to the head shape. The head shape is kind of like Manapua. So it's like a circle, but it's also kind of like an oval. It's like yeah, like a Manapua, like one of those little chashu bao. Alright, but anyway, that shape is going to be sitting right on top of the oval, and it's going to come up, over, back down again, and it is going to be bigger than our first oval. And if you notice the way I'm drawing the Manapua here, it's kind of off to the side. Notice that this oval is sticking out further than this, and then this oval sticking out further than that. So kind of line it up like a crooked number 8. If you put my pencil through the top of the 8, slice it through the middle of 8 and go to the bottom, you're going to notice that my pencil is diagonal. It's not straight up and down. Yeah. So try to make your shapes a little bit off. Okay, moving on to the next step. If you haven't paused it to catch up, then please do so now. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next shape. These are going to be the eyes, and the eyes are big ovals starting from the top of our shape. It's going to come down past the halfway point of the Manapua shape. So if this is halfway horizontally, it's going to go below it. And you're going to do 2, 1, and then we need 2 eyes, so we're going to need to do the second one. But the second one is going to be hidden by the first. So when we do our second oval shape, it's going to have to be overlapped by the first oval, because this one is the eye in the back. The head is facing this way, facing that way. So this eye is going to be covered by this eye. That's why I drew this line going through the eyes a little lighter, so I can erase it easier, like this. Okay, you can pause now. Alright, moving on. We're going to do the nose. The nose is a small little pebble-shaped oval, and that's going to connect the 2 eyes. And as you can see, a little bit of my eye is going behind my nose, so I'm going to erase that. Okay, pause. Okay, so we're going to do the cheeks next, and it's going to be this same size shape, but it's going to be next to the eyes here on one side. And we're not going to close it, we're just going to make it like a rainbow line, just like that. On both sides we're going to do that same rainbow-like letter C motion. Okay, and those are the cheeks. Those are the parts that stick up when you smile. You pause. Alright, moving on to the mouth. The mouth is like a big W. And the W is going to start right up here where the cheeks are. You're going to make one of the W lines, and it's going to come up and touch the nose here. So it's going to come up like that. And then the other part of the W is going to go up to the other cheek. And right on the tips of the W, here and here, right underneath the cheeks, you're going to put a small little bump on both sides. Okay, You can pause it now. Okay, so let's finish up the eyes. The eyes are going to get a line drawn right across them. Okay, so it's going to start from where the cheeks are. See this cheek? We're going to go right in the middle, and we're going to draw a curved line going towards the nose and coming all the way across to the other cheek. Now it kind of looks like this character is closing its eyes. Now it looks like it's sleeping. But in actuality it's not. So you can pause it there if you need time. Alright, so we're going to finish the eyes. The eyes are looking a little sneaky, so they're closed only so slightly. So right underneath the middle part of this left eye, we're going to put a semicircle. And that's the iris sticking out from underneath the eyelid. See that? And then on the right eye, we're going to put the iris a little bit closer to the nose. It's not going to be in the center. It's going to be off to the left. Just like that. You pause it. Alright, you can go ahead and pause. Sorry, not pause. But you can go ahead and start the ears now. And the ears are just like the mouth, the way you did a W, but this time we're going to do an M, the letter M. And starting on the outside of our eyes, we're going to go up like Mickey Mouse ears. It's going to go up and over the eyes, and it's going to come back and touch the forehead. You see the way it's angled that way? And then we're going to do one more, and it's going to come back all the way and touch the eye. So there's the ears. But we're not done with the ears. So there's our letter M, looks like McDonald's. To finish the ears, we are going to draw a line from the top of the ear, and it's going to come back down to the head. And when you come down towards the head, your line is going to spread out so that the ears are separated even wider. You're just going to kind of copy that line there. Okay, and same on the other side. You're going to bring that line from the top of the right ear down towards the second ear. So now it gives it some depth. Okay, then we can take our eraser. We can erase the line that's going through our ear. We can erase the line that's going through the ears on the top. So there we go. Alright, so bring that M down all the way to the eyes. And right on the tip of the M's, where their bumps are, we're just going to go ahead and draw a couple of lines coming down. We'll see about 3. I'm going to draw about 3 on this one too. Okay. You can pause it there. Alright, moving on. We're going to complete the ear, just like what we did here on the lips. We put this little extra C letter. We're going to do the same thing on the ear. We're going to connect the ear to the left eye by doing a little rainbow arch. Just like that. And we are done with that. Now it's got these little strange whiskers sticking out the top of his head. And it almost looks like tears like squirting out. So starting next to the ear on one side, we're going to put a line for the whisker. But we're going to make it curl in on the tip to make it thick. See that? It's skinny where it touches the head and it comes down and gets rounder. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. So 3 forehead whiskers like that. And we're going to repeat the same thing we did here on the other side below the ear. We'll put 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you need to pause it to finish those whiskers, go ahead. Alright, let's do the details on the cheeks. Right here where the smile is. So the cheeks are going to have little triangles. 1, 2, 3. 3 triangles right at the top of our C letter. And you're going to try and do the same thing on the other side. If it's too small, making little dots is fine. Doesn't have to be triangles, just as long as you have those 3 marks there to tell us it has those little whiskers on top of the cheeks. You can pause it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the stripes on the top of the face. And a group of stripes is made up of, looks like 5 lines. So I'm going to put 1 line next to the whiskers I just did, and that line is going to be nice and long. You see that line? It's pretty decent size. The second line I do is going to be slightly shorter. Okay, third line is going to be slightly shorter. Fourth line is going to be slightly shorter. And the last line is going to be just kind of a dot. Okay, so you notice that the lines get shorter as it comes in towards the face. These are going to be like the stripes, like tabby cats have stripes. Okay, so we're going to do another stripe here next to that. 1 long one, 2 semi-long, 3 medium length, 4 short length, and 5 shortest length. So there's another group of stripes, and we're going to do the same thing next to that. It's kind of like a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stripes. We're going to do it one more time, right by the chin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to try and fit it in on the other side too. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3. Okay, I can't fit any more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can just fit 4. So that finishes the head. Okay, it's got the stripes on the face. All right. So pause it there, and we'll move on in a few seconds. Okay, so we're going to do the shoulder/neck area, and what we're going to do is we're just going to draw a small hump that connects between the whiskers here, the stripes here, to the back. And we're just going to connect it with just a little bump here, just like that. Okay, and then we have the bump for the back here. The butt, I should say. The butt and the back. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and erase the line that's disconnecting that bump from the rest of the body. It's kind of like the shoulder blade. Okay, and there's actually stripes on the face here, like that, right here on top of this bump. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have some more coming down the back. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right there on the butt area, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. Okay? So the back now has stripes on it too. Alright, shall we do the arms first, or should we do the legs first? That's the question. Now let's do the arms first. This is going to be a little bit interesting, okay? So coming up over here, over his chin, we're just going to go ahead and put a rounded rainbow line, and it's going to come diagonally back down towards his tummy. And what my idea is I kind of want to make the shape of a number 8. Or even a bow tie. It kind of looks like a bow tie, like what we did on our Hello Kitty. Alright, so I'm making a bow tie shape. Or a peanut shape. Okay. I'm going to erase the line that's connecting my peanut shape to the head on the side here. And I'm going to go ahead and erase the line from the tummy that's going through my peanut shape. My infinity shape, or whatever, what have you. Whatever you want to call this shape, this bow shape. Okay. Alright, so these are going to be the arms. I know it looks a little weird, but bear with me. So what we're going to do is, if you need to pause it to get the shape, pause it now, and I'll wait a few seconds to let you do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to separate these lines so it becomes arms. And the arms are going to be crossed over each other, okay? So watch very closely. Starting with this upper right hand side, what we're going to do is we're just going to draw a line coming slightly down. Not all the way down, because we don't want to cut off the upper arm on the right side. So we're just going to go slightly down. Okay, and then this part on the bottom left, we're going to make that part come up slightly, just like what we did here. We're going to make it come up slightly, but not all the way. It's not going to go all the way up to the top. It's just going to stop right in the middle. So now it kind of looks like the letter S. If I were to turn the paper, it would look like a letter S. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to draw a line coming down this way for the left arm to look like it's coming towards us. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line like this. And then to separate this hand from this arm, we're just going to draw a line coming up so that the hand is resting inside the pocket of this forearm. Now here's the weird part. This is going to be the kind of a tough part. We're going to make a small triangle here between the hand and the arm. I'm going to make a small triangle. Let me zoom in real quick so you can see that. Okay, so there's a small triangle here. And the reason why I'm making this triangle is because this hand is sticking up above this arm. And I'm going to take my eraser. I'm just going to erase that indentation that the triangle is creating to give it the illusion that the arm is set back a little bit. Okay. So if you want to pause it there, you may. Give you guys a few seconds. Okay. So up on this side, since these fingers are curled into the pit of the forearm, the elbow area, this hand is coming up and has the fingers grabbing onto the shoulders. So what I want to do is, first of all, I want to erase the top of the line here, so it looks like this arm, this right arm, is still connected to the body. All right, and this extra line here coming off is going to be one of the fingers. So I'm just going to go ahead and round that. And in front of that finger, I'm just going to put another rounded line to draw the middle finger. And then finally, I am going to draw one last bump to make the pinky. Okay, you pause it there, finish the hands. Now what I want to do, since my guy looks really tired because of all these excess lines, is I'm just going to clean that up. Make it look a little neater. Just going to clean up the lines around here. Alright, let's move on to the legs now that we got the arms and the head all done. The legs, first of all, with the middle of the oval here, we're going to put a kind of a long triangle. Okay. This triangle is a negative shape. That means it's not part of the figure, it's part of the background. So negative shapes are actually very important, just as important as the positive shapes, which are part of the main object that you're drawing. So that's a good thing to kind of remember. I've told you guys that before in class. But drawing the background shapes, if you draw those accurately, the foreground shapes will also fall in line and will look just like the shape. I mean the figure that you're trying to draw. Okay, so getting off of that, I'm going to extend this triangle up into the body slightly. Since this leg is on the outside and this leg is going behind the stomach, we're going to solidify the tummy. We're going to make the line come slightly up into the figure. And on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. Put another line here. And this line is going to slowly get wider as it gets to the feet. So as it goes down towards the feet, it's going to spread out. See that? On each side of these two lines, we're going to have a small U line, just like what we did up with the cheeks. We're going to do the same thing here. We'll put that U line, and that's just the style of this person's art. We're going to take the eraser and erase the line that's going through the leg. Okay, you can pause it. Wait 3 seconds. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish up the foot. The foot has a little rounded line that comes off here. And And then after you draw this line, we're going to draw a big loaf of bread. I mean, like, this sucker is huge. Okay, big loaf of bread coming all the way back to the heel, and that's the foot. Looks like he's wearing shoes. We'll add the details for the toes in just a second, but I want to make sure that you establish your foot so we can move on to the right side. So I'll wait 3 seconds. Okay, so we're moving on to the other side. It's going to come down from the tummy, and it's going to get wider as it goes down towards the feet. Once again, we're going to put the bump, and then after we do the bump, we're going to draw another big oval, like a loaf of bread, on the other side. And that's the other foot. And then we're going to draw a line coming down from the stripes here. It's just going to go diagonally down, and it's going to stop right before the foot starts here. And after that, we're going to put another bump, just like what we have here. That bump is reoccurring in this entire character a few times, actually. And then after we draw that bump, then we're going to put another rounded foot-like shape coming out of that bump. So it looks like he has 3 legs. Almost looks like Squidward with all his multiple legs, yeah? It's not Squidward, though. We know what this is. Okay, you guys can pause it, and then in a few seconds I'll start again. Okay, so let's finish this back, what looks like a back foot first, by adding stripes continuing from the back of our figure. We're going to start again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next to that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next to that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the tail, we're only going to put a few. 1, 2, 3. And on the back of the tail, we're going to do just like what we did on the ears. We're going to make the lines come out. 2, 3, 4. We'll just do 4. Okay, so this is actually the tail of our character. Now we're going to do the feet. So pause it here, finish up the tail. Alright, so for the feet, what we're going to do is first we are going to put a line on the outside of both of our feet. And this is going to represent the pinky toe on both feet. This is very reminiscent of how we did Tweety Bird. So if you guys did Tweety Bird with me, then this should be no problem. Okay, so there's pinky toes. Alright, so we're going to go do another one. There's the middle toe. Now the toe after the middle toe is going to look a little weird. It's going to come up towards the toe. It's going to look like we're making the finger. So it's going to come up in the opposite direction. So now it's turning into like a C on both sides, yeah? So kind of like just right there. And then finally for the last toe, it's going to come up just like this on both sides. And as you can see, it made a negative shaped triangle here and the negative shaped triangle there. Take our eraser, get rid of those 2 negative shaped triangle lines. And then bring the line back towards the heel. And there you have our medium drawing. And this character's name is Garfield. Alright, moving on to our next cat. This is a harder one. Let's see. What shape should we start with? Let's start with kind of like a squash shape. It's going to be like a trapezoid, but a very organic trapezoid, okay? So we're going to put it skinny on the top. Watch me first. So skinny trapezoid leading to a wide trapezoid. I mean, going down to the wider part of the trapezoid. So skinny up top, come down, make it wider. Looks like a squash. Okay, go ahead and do that. Pause it here. Okay, so now we're gonna do the underarm, and right at the top of the head of the squash, we're gonna make a line coming up, and then it's gonna come back and back around, and that's gonna make a triangle. Kind of looks like a bat's wing sticking off the squash. And on this side, we're gonna make the triangle flat on the side of the squash, and it's gonna come back from a point. So this one goes out to the base, this one comes to a point. So these two triangles are kind of different, all right? So you can pause it there, put those two triangles in. Okay, so the next shape is going to be a big triangle starting from the shoulder up here, and it's going to end right here in the middle of the squash. Okay, so starting up from the shoulder, it's going to be a big triangle. I'm going to bring my triangle slightly up higher. I need to make my triangle a little bigger. The upper arm should be bigger than the lower arm, the forearm. Okay, so there's my triangle coming off of my triangle here. I'm going to do the same thing here again on this side. Make a triangle coming down and back in. So what we're doing is we're using the side of the squash to make our triangles. Now it looks like one of those dudes that have a really big nose and wearing glasses. These eyeballs look like they're wearing glasses. All right, sticking off of our squash, we're gonna have a couple of trapezoids. So here's one trapezoid, and here's a second trapezoid. Okay, you guys need to pause it. You guys can pause it. Okay, moving on, we have the tail sticking out of the back. So from the leg, these trapezoids are the legs, we're going to put a little rainbow line coming out of the leg, and it's going to go rounded at the tip, and it's going to copy that same line, that rainbow line again, coming back in. So now we have a nice banana-like shape. Kind of looks like a monkey. Alright, let's do the head. The head is going to be an oval, and actually we're going to fix this top area. From the shoulders, we're going to draw a curved line going up. From the shoulder, we're going to draw a curved line going up, like that. And then the head is going to be an oval. It's going to be kind of a strange shape oval. Might have gone a little too far for that. Hang on. Okay, let's try that again. So my oval is not going to go quite far over the shoulder. So the shoulder should basically be where you end your oval. So it's not going to be all that big. I'm just looking at that and I'm wondering, maybe I should, well, I guess it's okay. I can make it a little smaller. Yeah, I think I'll make it just slightly smaller. So you see all this bushy lines over here? I'm just going to go ahead and erase those so I can trim my shape down. I don't want to get too big. Okay, so there's our oval. That's the head. And now we can go ahead and erase this top of the squash. We can erase the arms connecting to the squash. That should be one line. One shape. That should all be connected. So now we have this arms, shoulders, and forearms here coming towards the side of the hips. Okay, so there we go. Alright, you can pause it if you need to catch up to here. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. We're going to finish the hands. The hands are resting on top of its waist. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the forearms to come in to allow a little bit for the paws to come out. So I'm going to just go ahead and erase that line. Okay, this side too. I'm just going to go ahead and draw a triangle cutting away into the forearm. And I'm just going to erase a little bit out of that too. So now we allow for the hands there. That's good. So you can see the way it's taking form now. The forearm and the hands are both separated instead of it just being one long rectangle. These small grooves and indentions in your body are very important things to remember when you draw a figure, because those things are going to give more detail and people will be able to acknowledge what they are after you've drawn them. Alright, so let's draw the rest of the head. On the top of the head it has another trapezoid, and that trapezoid is going to reach out to both sides of the oval like it's wearing a fez, like one of those funny hats. Oops, knocked over my Stellar Guns Dragon. Alright, looking good. Okay, on top of the fez, we're just going to go ahead and draw an angled line going across the fez, like that. Let's do the face. Are we ready? In the center of our oval, we are going to draw a W. And those are the character's lips. Okay, so you can see the W there. You can pause it if you need to. Right above the W, we're going to put a line and two lines sticking out like a letter Y. So on top of the middle of our W, we're going to put a Y. And that's the nose. And the nose is going to have a little cross over it, or should I say a little line over it. Okay, the eyes are going to be on both sides of the nose, and it's going to be a little moon shape. So it's going to be rounded on the top, and it's going to have a little line underneath. It's going to be rounded on the top on both sides, and a straight line underneath. That's the eyes. Looks like little rising suns. You can pause it if you need to. Alright, after that we're going to draw the iris. And the pupil. Looking good. Now we can finish up the coloration of the nose here. Coming out of the nose, right out of the side, we're going to kind of put a scratchy line going to the side of the lips. And then right at the base of the lips, right where the W comes down, we're going to put a little bit more fuzzy line coming down to the chin. Like that. On top of the hands, we're going to put a fuzzy line going across the wrist, down to the bottom, both sides. And then we're going to also add a fuzzy line going across the squash and down to the bottom. And that line gets wider and fuzzier as it gets down to the tummy. Yeah. Alright, almost done. You can pause it if you need to catch up. Okay, so last step for the body, we're just going to go ahead and draw a square on the center of his squash. See that square? Or, I'm sorry, a rectangle. Draw a rectangle on the center of that squash. And then on the left side of the rectangle, we're going to put a really skinny rectangle. Right inside the rectangle, we'll put a skinny one off to the left. You can zoom in on that. So I have a rectangle and a small rectangle on the inside. And now I'm going to draw one more rectangle on the outside of my first rectangle. Does that look familiar to anybody? It's supposed to be a belt buckle. A little bit of details. Alright, so now I'm going to put the strap of the belt going across the body. So one strap goes on one side, and it comes and stops a little bit on the inside of the fur. And then the other strap goes to the other side of the body. And that one's going to stop right where the fuzzy tummy is. And it's going to have a small indentation where the belt is. So I'm going to erase a little bit of that. Okay, so the belt is there across the waist. And then we're going to draw an oval coming out the side of his body. That oval is going to kind of be in an angle, diagonal, yeah? Alright, you guys can pause it there if you want to catch up. Okay? Alright, so I'm just going to add another line going from the side of my oval and around to the other side of the oval. So this is going to be your next line. It's going to kind of look like a crescent moon is going around your circle. And then finally, I'm going to draw a diagonal line coming out the side of his body, going through the oval, and close to his arm here, I'm going to put a circle to end it. See that? Alright, so this is going to be a handle, and then this is going to be a sheath. Alright, so the sheath is going to continue with a rectangular-like shape going up to the ovals that we just drew. And then this handle is going to be rounded as it touches the inside of this oval. And then you're going to connect the circle on the tip of the handle, like that. And from here we can draw a bunch of vertical lines or horizontal lines going across the handle like that. Okay. Alright. Looking good. pause it there, or actually you can pause it here and then I'll zoom out. Alright, let's finish the feet. Okay, so the feet are both going to come down into trapezoids, skinnier trapezoids than the first ones we drew for the legs. So skinny trapezoids like this, and then the feet sticking out of these trapezoids are going to be like triangles. So we have a trapezoid and we have a triangle. Okay, so trapezoid first, nice long trapezoid for the shin, and triangle for the feet. Notice one of my triangles is shorter than the other because this foot is going to be facing like this, whereas this foot is going to be more towards us like that. Once you have your triangle and your trapezoids, we can move on. So we can pause it here. Take your eraser, erase the lines that are going through the feet. And we can move back to the hat. Okay, so the base of the hat here, sticking out the side of the hat, is going to be a rounded ovular line, okay, like a semi-oval, and that's sticking out the side here. That's going to go behind the head. I kind of cut my line a little too short. So I'm going to erase that real quick. So make sure that the line starts at the base of the hat and it goes behind the head. Like that. And the second line is going to come out from the base of the hat. We'll start from the line where it goes in front of the forehead. It's going to turn upwards and it's going to kiss the top of the hat. This line is going to start at the base and work its way to the top of the hat here. And then sticking out of the cheek, we're going to go up back towards that same line. And inside the hat, we're going to go ahead and just drop down a line in between the trapezoid and the other part here. So if you need time, you can pause it there. Alright, there's one more thing that's sticking out of his hat, and that's going to be a curved line, and on that curved line we're going to put a bunch of fuzzy lines sticking off of it because it's supposed to be a feather. And that's sticking off the top of the hat. Right. So now we can go ahead and finish up the shoes. The shoes are going to have a small rectangle under them, nice skinny rectangle. So you're going to put a couple lines coming down from the feet, and then we're going to cross underneath it. Another skinny rectangle on this foot, cross and connect to it, just like that. And then we're just going to add a little bit of roundness to the front of the shoe here, and a lot of roundness to the front of the shoe there, like that. And we can erase the tip of that triangle. And then we can put a few lines for creases inside the ankle area. Just put a couple of expressionate lines inside there to create a little bit of details. Has a small little red rim going across the bottom of the folded up part of the boot. On both sides. If you want, you can put a small, we gotta get rid of that fuzz that's going through our belt. Doesn't make any sense. And then finally we can put a little semi-circle to show part of the belt coming out. And then finally put some whiskers coming off of the face. And that's it. This character is Puss in Boots. Puss in Boots. Alright, so that was the last picture for today. We did a easy, a middle, and a hard cat themed drawing. If you guys have ideas, please drop me a line at my email. I haven't got many requests, so I'm going to keep making up these silly themes unless you send me something new. Alright? So go ahead, take advantage. Write something to Mr. D, let me know what you want to do. And I'll see you next time. Shoots.